2 minutes still, or 1 minute still. So
that's because it's all females. That's why.
What a lucky man. What a lucky man today, Mr. Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's got the right side. So let's actually go ahead and get started. Yeah. Wonderful. So I want to thank you all for being here today and being kind enough to be willing to share. Patty and I kind of looked at each other when the market went sideways 6 weeks ago and said, what are we going to do to be able to help our agents and maybe some outside agents? What can we do to kind of give back, and how are we even going to get through this market? Because we both lived through like 2008. We've been in the 80s in real estate, but this is a totally different shift than we've experienced before. So thank you for being here. We've gotten great feedback on it. We do have an audience who can hear us, they can and see us. We can't hear them, and so they can type questions in the Q&A box if they have questions as we go through, and we'll just kind of try to get through everything and share. We will be streaming this after, or maybe even now. Sabrina might be doing it onto social media, so it'll be out there.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So you can see it. Let me first just ask each of you for a little bit of a background about yourself and maybe your time in real estate. And I'm going to ask Michelle, you to go first. And I will ask that as we go through this, if you're not speaking, it would be great to mute yourself. Just if you're like me and you have two big dogs that all of a sudden might start barking, then we won't hear them until we're there. And as you're ready to answer a question, if you unmute yourself, we'll know who's going to talk. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Michelle Kubiak, and I am from California, a small town called Napomo. Nobody's ever heard of it. And I've been in Las Vegas 25 years, and I've been full-time in real estate for 19 years. And I say full-time because, I don't have another job except for one time when the market crashed. So, yeah.
Nice.
I love what I do. It doesn't feel like work because I love it. So
nice. It should be, right? That's important. We spend a lot of time at it. It's important to me that it's a good environment where I want to be. What about you, Ashley? You have, I think, a passion for teaching is everything that I keep on hearing about you. Tell us a little bit about you and your time in real estate.
Yes, hi. So I am the broker owner of Vegas Homes and Fine Estates. I actually came from Montana. My husband and I went to college there. He was a competitive basketball player, and so we both come from sports backgrounds. After we graduated college there, we moved to Las Vegas. So 17 years we've been here, and yeah, I love the Las Vegas area. I've never done anything but real estate. And in 2012, I opened my own brokerage, and I've really never looked back. So I do love teaching. I've been helping agents across the nation on different platforms, and really learning from a lot of agents across the nation as well, which has been really helpful to my business. And yeah, we're just trying to do some different things to try to, stay going in this market. We've been blessed. We've been very busy since this has all been hitting, and just kind of adjusting some things that we've been doing. So.
Sure, that's great. And I think, I learned early on, I had someone who mentored me when I started, and he let me follow him on a listing presentation. And that helped me so much because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was the girl from Canada that didn't know anybody, didn't know what to do. And so I think the more we can give back to others, the better it makes us. And there's always somebody ahead of you that you can always take away and learn from. So I've learned that anytime I want to do a new kind of business or something different, I always try to find someone that's ahead of me, right? Because you'll get there a lot faster. So thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Sherry, what about you? You've got a long time in the business. You've been doing this for quite a while, and not a long time in Vegas though.
I've been in Vegas selling real estate for 5 years. And then I've been in the home sales industry for 27 years. So I've seen the ups, the downs.
We may be having internet issues. We'll see if she pops back on. That's one of the joys of Zoom, right? That's kind of what happens. We have to be prepared to move on. I'm going to ask about you, Mr. Las Vegas, who knows everybody.
Hi, I'm Albie. I've been in the real estate industry for 11 years, 10 with Debbie Zoyce. And let me tell you this, they didn't teach me anything at my first place. It was a boutique place, and they said, here, you can sit in the office. You get, what's that called? Office time, whatever that is. That didn't really work out. So previous, I was a Microsoft engineer. I was like this really nerdy kid. So That's why I'm adopted to tech so often. And then that's why I've never made any cold calls. I hate people calling me, and I don't call people. So, and I talk a lot, so you have to cut me off. I have tons of things to say.
It's okay. We'll get through and we'll get everybody on here and get it figured out. I think it's different now because there's so much technology, and I'm glad you're on the call because we'll be able to talk about that a little bit and see what we can do differently. I'm curious, and I'm going to share your sideways still, so we need to rotate you somehow.
I did.
There you
Oh,
are.
there you are.
Perfect. Then you're back. We like you better that way. We lost you somewhere. We were talking about just kind of technology, and that's what happens. So you've got 5 years in Vegas, and you really just kind of came in, didn't know a lot of people, and built yourself up.
I didn't know anybody when I came to Vegas. It's just like I moved my family here and said it's do or die. So I immediately got here, started doing open houses the first week I was here, and built my business way up. So, and I've been very blessed to have a lot of clients and become a top producer and love what I do.
Thanks for sharing.
Great. And thanks for being with us today. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And as Debbie said, thank you for being willing to share. For many of you, this isn't your first shift. How does this compare to the other shifts that we've had, the Great Recession, 9/11, and what's different in your business? Okay, so I guess Albie's dying to go first. Should we let him go, ladies?
Yeah.
Well, that's what
All right, Albie.
No. You guys, now I feel bad. I'm like, anyway, so here's the main difference that I notice is, so just like Sherry, so when I was at this boutique firm, when I first started, they gave me my license and I just sat there, but I saw some open house signs. I'm like, hey, I'm a people person, so I need to go out there and do open houses. So I took those signs and I farmed my neighborhood. It was like 3 to 4 times a week. And that's the difference between today and where we are. So I started in 08. So in 09 and 10, I was doing a lot of open houses. I didn't have to worry about people coming in and coughing on me versus today, if somebody comes in, the interaction's gone. So that's why I think we have to be all digital based versus face-to-face. And I love face-to-face. So that's my thing. But that's the major difference that I see today.
All right. Thank you for that, Albie.
I'll go. And for me, what's different than in 2008 is the money that they're putting back into the economy, helping the small businesses, the unemployment, the stimulus package, which makes it less fearful. Because when the market crashed back in 08, that was how I was consumed by fear. And today it's completely different, because I know there's a way to still go out there and do business and respectfully and come from a place of contribution instead of selling. And so, and not being desperate, is like, because I had never been through something like that before. And so we get to learn from our past, and, it served me well this time around with, what's going on in the world today. So, back then, I don't think we could even text in 2001, where today I can set goals, which I didn't have goals in 2008, where I text 5 clients a day. Hey, are you doing okay? Is there anything you need help with? Can I go to the store for you? Type of thing. And really be from a serving mentality and not like trying to get them to list their home. Because that
thank you. And thank you for that. There is a different sense of community and sensitivity going on. And although it's uncertain, I don't see people fearing losing their homes. There's a lot of community outreach, the government outreach. It definitely feels much different. And I feel that we are going to definitely get through this. It's not going to be as long lasting. We'll have to be nimble and adjust, but coming from service first is huge right now. That's all that matters. How about you, Ashley or Sherry? Anything?
Well, I think what everybody has to look at right now is this is going to become probably our new norm for a while. And I don't think it's really, I'm not worried about the economy crashing. I'm not worried about, I think we just have to adjust. If you look at the figures over the last week alone, you know, we still have like almost 600 homes that came on the market.
Yep.
We have 500 something homes that went under contract in the last 7 days. So this quarantine and everything's been going on for a long, you know, a good over a month now. Yet we're still selling. We're still seeing buyers out there. We're still seeing sellers out there. I think that it's something that, you know, we have to look at this as becoming, okay, we just have to be a little bit more socially conscious. We have to make sure that we watch out for not only ourselves, but our clients as well. Whether they're sellers or buyers, and be respectful going into homes, wearing the face mask. And this is going to be a long-term thing. I think the economy is going to slowly start opening up. I think people are going to start getting back. I think that there is confidence in the economy right now because of the stimulus checks. You know, although I think, you know, even the interest rates are really low right now. Before, it took them a long time to drop. I mean, when the economy crashed, the interest rates were like at 7%. So it took them a long time to drop. Right now we're at 3 something. So we're already in a really great position to be able to be advisors and helpers and everything out there. And I think the other thing that's really important right now is to not just sit at home and go, okay, what else? You know, I'm going to do nothing all day. This is the time to really be working on your business to gear it up to where you want to take it tomorrow, this afternoon, the next day. Don't look at this and go, oh, the economy shut down, oh, my business is dead. Look at it and go, okay, now's my opportunity to really take the time and do real estate reviews and get in contact with clients I haven't contacted in 5 years or 6 months or something like that. I think you need to look at this as a good thing, you know, as a bonus right now for us.
You know, and it's interesting you say that, because even though we have to social distance and stay in our homes, I feel as if we are more connected than ever. This pause has really allowed us to reach out, as you had said, to people maybe we haven't spoken to in a long time. And so it makes us more connected.
Well, I can't remember who said it last week, but somebody said, instead of calling it social distancing, we should call it physical distancing, because socially we can still contact a lot of people. We have Zoom, we have all these meeting things, we have Skype, we have FaceTime, we have, you know, we have more ability to get a hold of people all over the world right now. So take the time to be social, even though we are physically distanced from everybody right now.
Yeah, well said.
I agree. And I mean, for 2008, I think obviously I was less time in the business at that time, but I was really looking at the climate of the market and what was going to happen. And so I immediately learned how to do short sales. And that's literally what I did all day long, with short sales. And I knew that that's how I was going to survive. And believe it or not, I was pregnant with my son. It was a great opportunity. I was able to stay home with him. But I literally pounded short sales like 12 hours a day. And that's how I stayed afloat. So, you know, you basically had a flashback to 2008 and said, okay, how do I stay 3 steps ahead? And I have a degree, so I'm lucky at that. I've always been big to technology and film and showcasing my properties. And so I call a business as unusual. So I've continued to be business and as unusual. I've stocked up on more film equipment. I've reached out to buyers. Can I do a 3D tour for you? How would you like to see the home? There's not enough information, you know, given by the listing agent. Let me go out and get more information for you. So that's been really good. And we've put a couple homes under contract without the buyers ever seeing them. So it's just a different climate. How are you going to adjust to it? And how are you going to use technology? We didn't have this back in 2008. Now we have the ability to do this with technology, and it's just a different climate. So
and learn a new skill.
Yeah,
I think it's well said, Ashley. It makes a difference. And I think the other thing we need to think about is, in 2008, people did not have equity in their houses. There were people who were just, you know,
I read an article. It was like 830, the equity difference between now and then. People pulled out $832 billion in equity in their home back then, which caused part of the crash. Today, it's 234 billion. People the second time around are much more financially conscious.
Yep.
And
we
our
don't have
office
the
ran
inventory levels, and the interest rate, you know, there's a perfect storm there. Inventory levels are super low, which they weren't back then. interest rates are super low, and people are in equity positions. So, you know, again, looking at what's in the market and what's going on and really staying close to all the stats, that's really going to help you in this market.
Now, the really cool thing is our office ran the numbers where it showed that we either had 53 or 57% of homeowners that owned homes outright.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge number.
Yeah.
And then it was another 26, 27% that actually had equity over 25%.
Whereas before, everybody was maxed out to 200% on their house because they were buying
Right.
boats and cars and
Yep.
trucks and everything else. So they
Yep.
got smarter.
I will say that I do worry a little bit about this forbearance, that, you know, some people might not be educated about forbearance and they might get themselves into a sticky situation, even though they may have equity, they may be sitting in an equity position. Some people just don't do anything. You know, some people just kind of like to sweep things under the rug or wait or see if there's going to be a better solution. I think there's going to be a very small percentage of that, but I do think there could be some of those that creep in.
I think that's a good point. We actually had a question that I thought was interesting. It said, what kind of impact do you think there will be when they reactivate notice of sale and notice of default and start foreclosing again in 60 days? Where do you think that's going to be coming anytime soon, or is that going to be a big impact?
I personally, go ahead.
Okay, I've actually shown 2 foreclosures this week. So there's already some coming into the market, and a couple of short sales that I'm going to go do a virtual open house on. And it's like already there. I think that after this is over, we could probably see more, or a lot of people selling their homes, listing them and selling them.
Yep.
Maybe go.
I don't know. I think we need to go at this without, and you know, and no disrespect to anybody and their opinions, but go at this without a sky is falling mentality. I think that it's very important that we stay focused. Like a lot of the foreclosures that are coming on the market, those are foreclosures that have been happening for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, because right now it takes that amount of time to go through a foreclosure. This isn't something that yesterday they didn't make their payment and all of a sudden the bank is foreclosing. This is something they didn't make their payment back in 2010 and now it's finally getting foreclosed on. This is not a short sale episode where 2 months ago they didn't make their house payment, and if they are trying to short sale it now, they're panicking. Yeah. But I think, you know, we've only been doing this for a couple of months. Yeah. I mean, before we were looking at something that was going on for years and years with an equity position that people they had zero equity. They were so over in their home house in you know, what they owed on their house versus what the reality of it was. That's why the market got hit hard. And I think what we need to do is go at this with a positive position and put out positivity and reality to all of the clients and all of the people, and not start a panic, because anything that's happening right now, we're not even going to see any foreclosures from anybody for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. And from time immemorial, from somebody who's been in this market for a long time, and you guys have been too, there is always, even in the best of times, foreclosures. Even in the best of time, there has been short sales. So it's always going to happen. You know, it's always going to be there, but we just need to be smart about what we say to everybody, because we don't want to put that sky is falling mentality out there.
Right, from a place of
I was on a call the other day, and I think Czar put it well, that the more we stay in touch with our clients, how we wind up on the tail end of this is going to be is going to matter, right? Pouring in, as you said, Michelle, coming from service, he said in the next 9 months there's going to be a lot of babies born. And people are going to want to upgrade their homes. There are going to be a lot of divorces because people are going to realize I really don't like who I live with. So, I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I'll chime in on that as well. So when we're fully done out of this, we're gonna have people that are gonna want to move because they're stuck in their house and they found out their house, I don't want to sucks. And they're really going to discover that their house sucks. I thoroughly enjoy my house only because it's new. And the people are upgrading their house because it gives them projects that they need to do. So we're at Home Depot upgrading it. So when we get these houses that are coming to market, they're going to be a little bit more upgraded. Are they still going to have those oak? Yeah, probably, because they didn't stain it. But I think that a couple of little things are going to be done. So I think it'll be look a lot better.
Home Depot is packed. I had to go there the other day and I'm like, I'm not going back there.
Yeah,
I
they're
was at
happy
Star
right now. Home
Nursery the
Depot
other
and
day at the
Lowe's.
wrong time. Yeah. So what type of, we're all adjusting. Michelle, you were talking about doing a virtual open house. Albie, I know you're a techie. Ashley, what Zoom? I think we all likely have degrees and or certificates in being Zoom certified right now. What other technology have you adopted during this time? Anything else that you're using?
I'm using just the same things that I've been constantly using, probably using a little bit more with the 3D tours.
Yes.
But, been doing some Facebook Lives with walkthroughs of properties like virtual open houses, and been utilizing my website to be able to put those out as well. Like I said, I've always been into video. Video has been really good for me in terms of staying in touch with my past clients and letting them know what's going on in the market. And again, that's why I said it's really important to be looking at the trends of the market and looking at what's going on. And, before I would do it on a monthly basis, I'm doing it like every few days now. So
Nice.
you just kind of have to be, because I'm getting so many questions about what's going on with the market, and you want to be educated, and you don't, people look to us as a resource, especially agents that have been in this business a really long time. You have to be that resource. You have to be there for great information for your clients and, lead them down the right path. So, I have been very positive with my clients in the way that the market has been going. We've been closing a lot of deals. We've only had one fall out of escrow, which was really, really good. And I've seen the numbers where over 2,000 homes had fallen out of escrow. So, educating your clients more than ever and doing that with technology is just going to be the best thing that you can possibly do.
Get a further reach too.
Yep.
So I slightly been cheating the system because, they give me the tools to cheat the system. So one of the cool hacks that I did was, remember when the MLS said we could now do a virtual tour? Now we've always had that virtual tour, right? But now we can do that virtual open house. So what I did was I created a non-branded YouTube page. So it doesn't have anything on there other than MLS, Las Vegas MLS open house, and that's it. So then I upload my listings in there, and then I go into the MLS and I show that there's an open house. Usually my open houses are 3 hours, but these are 12 hours. And then when somebody clicks on it and watches the video, inside the description, it just says, call your agent. So I'm trying to abide by and say, hey, you know what? Don't call me, call your agent. Yeah. And then the description, the title is just the MLS number, the street number, and that's it. The street name. So that's a hack I've been using to do that with my listings.
Interesting.
I'm
Debbie, you're
curious
going to say something?
Yeah, I'm curious if anyone's doing any kind of virtual open houses where they actually are, what am I trying to say? Where they're actually grabbing their leads, or they're actually paying attention to their leads versus just getting views. Is anybody doing anything to get?
I'm doing a landing page through my CRM, and then I'm advertising that through Facebook Ads Manager and Instagram. And I'm doing like a watch party with that. And then they can actually go look at virtual report. But I'm capturing all their information, and then I can retarget them to also send them back messages to let them know about other properties, and any ones they see online that do not have a 3D tour or a walkthrough of the property or a video, I'll go and do that for them.
Smart. That's super smart. I see like so many agents are just kind of like throwing it up there and letting it get impressions, but really what good does that do you? Albie, are you doing something similar?
So not on that YouTube page. I have my own personal YouTube page, and pretty much anything that you look at that has some kind of video or regular content has a landing page to go to. I'm doing something sneaky again on the back end of some stuff. So with this downtime, I've been cycling a lot more. So I created this YouTube cycling page, and the last 28 days, I had 12,000 views on it, and then over 360 hours of people watching it. All right. That doesn't sound like has anything to do with real estate, but the cool thing about getting into YouTube is you can have cards in there and you can put stuff in there. So since it's Las Vegas mountain biking, and I know that they're staying on there for 2.5 minutes. So at minute 145, I'm able to put a card in there to push them to my YouTube page for my real estate. Without even pushing real estate, it's subliminally telling you could look at my real estate. You do need 1,000 followers to actually put links in there to get to your website. And that's the goal to get to. And then another thing that we're going to start doing is we're going to put the actual, the KW, our CRM one, the link from Command inside of there, because that is actually covers the whole entire United States. So no matter where you're in, you'll be able to see listings in your, it'll be like a Zillow.
It'll be like your own independent Zillow where they'll be able to see inventory anywhere in the country.
Correct.
Super smart.
Very cool.
Yeah, brilliant.
Anybody else?
I wanted to know, we've spoken a lot about what everybody is doing in this market and kind of your experience and what's changed. What is everybody doing to keep themselves fresh and new? And do you have a routine? I mean, Albie, you're cycling. I know, Michelle, I spoke to you the other day and you were just getting back from hiking. What are you guys doing to stay fresh and positive, to renew yourself?
So I'm in coaching, and we have coaching 3 times a week now instead, so our coach can keep us like, you know, out of coming from a place of fear. And there's 4 areas of my life that I have to touch every day. It's physical, spiritual, financial, and relational, like reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while. And so the physical part of it's really helpful. I bought a bike, and 2, you know, my goal is to get to 20 miles, and I got to 10.5 just last week. So I'm pushing myself there, because exercise for me makes me strong more mentally, you know. And then the affirmations and meditation and prayer, that's something that I've done for the last 13 years. That's
Nice.
how I keep mentally strong and positive. And I have an Alexa in my bathroom, and so when I'm getting ready, I have a certain songs that are really pumped, like Roar by Katy Perry, That Girl Is on Fire. I mean,
Nice.
Eye of the Tiger, you remember,
Yeah.
from Rocky?
Oh yeah, classic.
So I play those in the morning, and you know, that just gives me my jolt of energy and positivity. So
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that.
I was playing tennis a lot until they shut the courts down. And so then I had to change my, you know, what I was doing. I was really excited about it because I was getting to play more tennis than I normally do. And so now just been trying to just get out and do as much. Like today I did an 1.5-hour walk, you know, before the kids got up. I'm homeschooling 2 children, so it's a little brutal.
My hat's off to you. Yes.
I think it's
oh my gosh, kindergartner and a 4th grader. So
Wow.
it's tough. And I think I've given up on the kindergartner, and I've sent the other one to detention today. So, you know, yeah, it's rough being a homeschooling parent right now. So,
Yeah.
I will say that having connections with other agents across the country have been really big to me. I have a network of about 5 ladies that I talk to on Marco Polo, and we talk like 50 times a day, like no joke. And but it's cool because they're in all different parts of the country. And it's been really good for me because it's like, what are you doing today? What are you working on? What are you, you know, seeing in your market? And it's just kind of been really motivational for me. It gets me going. And it just kind of keeps me on task too. And it gets the, you know, brain flowing about all the things that we need to be working on. So that's been really, really helpful with having stuff like that. And just really connecting with like my coaching groups too. That's been really good too. I have a big meeting today. We had one this morning at 9 a.m. with this like big marketing guru that was on from Canada. And then now we'll have another one at 2 o'clock about someone that goes over, you know, conversion of leads and whatnot. So that's been really, really good for me. So outside
the investment in coaching is big at this time.
Oh yeah.
Worth money well spent.
Yeah.
Sherry, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think the investment in coaching, I think is positive, but I also think that just your gratitudes every day, staying in contact. You know, I make sure that I stay in contact with at least a couple of clients every day, call them, talk to them, because everybody, wants to know, so what's the market doing? So
Yeah.
it usually ends up being an hour-long phone call to each client because they want our take on everything. So I think the positivity about being able to get out there and reassure people right now that, Vegas is still here. We're going to survive. We're strong. And, the going out and taking my dog for a walk, which he's loving. LVAC, of which I'm a member, they're streaming their exercise classes online, so you can do the exercise classes. So I think, taking the time to say, okay, during these hours, because, being at home, you have to be disciplined to say, okay, during these hours, I'm going to work on my business. It's like, okay, I'm going to put the laundry aside. I'm going to put the dishes aside. I'm not going to vacuum. I'm going to sit here and say, okay, during this time, I'm going to contact clients. I'm going to work on my business. I'm going to do my real estate reviews. I'm going to do whatever the case may be. You get that focus in there. And I think just having that focus helps keep you positive about, moving forward. It's like, okay, my business isn't dead. It's like, okay, everybody's going, okay, we want to talk about, listing our home, in a month, or when's a good time to come to Vegas and start looking at property. And, so those are all things. And then you start pinning them in your calendars and you're like, okay, in a month, I've got 9 appointments. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, so you keep your mind focused on work, but at the same time, every day, your meditations, your gratitudes, like everybody else is saying, it's like, keeping positive about, yes, your home, but you can still be positive about things you're thankful for. You're thankful that you have a home. You're thankful that, the weather's beautiful outside. You're thankful that you have people that you can talk to and do business and stuff. So I think, being positive, talking to other people in the office, I think is really positive. We have a lot of meetings every day that people can join. And I think joining those meetings is a good thing because it helps keep you focused on your business. So, join a meeting, join a group, talk, like we're doing right now. I think it's important to get out there and still get your head into the game.
Well
Yeah,
said.
it's business as usual in an unusual way.
Yeah.
At the moment.
And I
Very
think
much so.
we're all leaders on this call. And so part of our job is to do that and to help other people figure out how to get through it, because we're going to get through it. We're going to come out of it. And some people I see where they're just they have their head in the sand and they're not doing anything. And that's certainly not the right answer. And maybe you want to redo your living room or your dining room or your kitchen right now. That's okay, but you better still have some structure to have some, because what we're doing now is what's going to hit us in 90 days, right? And now we're 6 weeks into this. Who knows how long this is going to be? So I think we need to be smart and purposeful in planning.
And this is the reason why you should always have new homes.
Giving away your secrets, huh? We're on your secrets, huh?
Because, there are paychecks that are coming, 90, 120 days from now.
It's true. It's really true. I'm wondering, we've seen a big shift. The iBuyers were all over our market and kind of taking up the number, the top 20 places in the market for production. They were eating up the market, and all of a sudden overnight they dried up. The iBuyers are really gone. Is that, how are you guys feeling about that? Are you seeing a shift, Albie?
So here's the thing that I was telling everybody back in early March is I said, we always hated the iBuyers. They do have a small fit in our, in our whole grand scheme of things. But this is what I'm telling everybody. I said, look, so this is what's going to happen is you're going to have people that are going to be out of work. And this was early March. You're going to be out of work and they're going to need money today. And I'm like, how can I get 10, 20, 30 grand? I'm like, all right, let me sell it to the iBuyer, whatever. And then they're going to really thrive through that. So let's say the median price was 320. They bought it from them 270, which would probably be the real number, but at least they have cash in hand. And so they would put it back on the market, maybe 335, 340, maybe do a couple of little things, maybe paint or something. And they would keep the values up and running. And next thing you know, they're gone. And I'm like, well, that theory went away. And I think it's really important that they should have stayed in. There's people that are going to need money, and that would help out. So I think they got it at the wrong time.
Certainly riskier now being an iBuyer than it was in February. Ashley, did you want to add something to it? Are you seeing an impact from them not being here anymore, or anybody else?
I haven't really seen it, firsthand yet of them not being in the market, but I definitely think it's probably like Albie said to touch on. I mean, I definitely think that there is a space for them, a small space for them. I mean, you know, I've always been, you know, yeah, small space. I've always been, you know, again, it comes back to that education of the buyer, you know, they are in our consumer, they look to us for advice and how can we help them. So, you know, I've done a lot of videos on, you know, how iBuyers are different than a traditional sale. Yeah, it sucks making your bed every day and, you know, putting the toilet seat down. But if you're going to get $40,000 more on the sale of your home, at the end of the day, that probably looked like it wasn't very much work. So, you know, I do think that they've kind of, in some space, taken advantage of a lot of the you know, people in this, in all types of markets. But there might have been still a small space for them. So, I mean, it's yet to be seen what, you know, how it's going to affect us not having them in the market. I do think that there might be, you know, an adjustment in the way that we see, you know, agents in this market too. You know, you just like 2008, you know, I think we're like hovering around 18,000 agents right now. So, you know, that's a big amount of agents. So, you know, and we went down to like to the 14,000 mark. So, I mean, you know, we might see a big adjustment too. And, you know, I think there's going to be kind of a ripple effect, but again, I think it's going to be positive in a lot of ways. And I think it's going to be good.
And I think it's our opportunity to shine and take back our territory, because we are agents who live in the community. We're people, right? Belly to belly business.
Yep.
It really is for those people who are still working and staying connected. It's your opportunity to get back in front of your clients. So at the end of this, you know, the iBuyers, if they re-enter the market, maybe it'll make people think twice.
Yeah,
And like you said, making the bed, putting the toilet seat down. If you only have to do that for so many days and you can get so much more money, break that down hourly for your clients if you can. All right, what does that equate to? You know, if I have to do that, my home sells and I have to do that for 2 weeks straight, and I get $30,000, $40,000 more, break it down into dollars for them. Was it worth your time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's important, because I think for a while the commercials are so misleading.
Sure.
It's like, oh, just call us. We'll list your home. You'll get full price above asking. No other realtor possibly give you as much money as we're going to pay for your house. Oh, minus our $10,000 fee, and minus the $40,000 less that we're going to give you on the offer price, and minus the $5,000 repair request and everything else.
Yeah.
And they're not dropping groceries off at your door at the moment, right? They're not calling to see how you are.
They don't care about you. All you are is a number, and that is the absolute bottom line. And with us, we care about our clients. We're calling them. Are you okay? Are you healthy? Is there anything you need? The older clients, I mean, I had one yesterday, which just broke my heart, but it turned out with a good ending. But it was, you know, a 74-year-old client bought her first home, $115,000 condo at 74 years old. And we did the walkthrough 2 days ago, recorded yesterday, went to go move her into it, and somebody had broken into the house and decided they wanted to squat the night before. So my daughter and I rushed over before she got there, cleaned the whole house up. And she walked into, you know, dumped it in the garbage bin, cleaned it all up, you know, mopped, swept everything. She got to walk into a home that was a clean home. She didn't see any of the mess that was there. Yep. And you know, and that's because it becomes a personal touch. It becomes, you know, these aren't just people on a phone call. These are people who are personal to us. They become friends throughout the whole transaction. They become people we learn all about their lives about. And, you know, we have a very personal connection where, you know, these places, they don't know who your kids are. They don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
They don't know your life story or anything. And that's why, you know, now's our opportunity to really shine and connect with all of these people and let them know that, hey, we're here for you in our community. We're not just a number calling you a 1-800 number. Hi, may I help you?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, now's our chance to really shine.
They're people and you have relationships with them. They're not an asset.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's really true. I'm wondering, it's definitely a different kind of market. Where are you guys going or to learn in this market, or who are you going to grow from? Where are you finding information that you need in this market? Is there a good source that you found? Is there anything that you're looking to?
Zoom videos just like this
Yes,
everywhere.
yes. And then the page that you created, Debbie, the trending together has been helpful. Posting the SBA, the paycheck protection
Good.
loan. Yeah, so that's been helpful. And I've never been one to watch the news, and so I've been watching, like, I'll Google what I want to know about it, because I don't like to watch the news. So just Googling and talking with other agents.
Smart. Yeah.
I use Keeping Current Matters to really look at a lot of, data. And then, obviously like our Las Vegas Realtor site, I think is just a good source. And I think more than ever, they're giving us more information about our market, which is really, really good. So pay close attention to that. Obviously, like the newspaper is a good, source too, because obviously Thomas Blanchard is always, putting some type of information there. But
Right.
I really turn to my title companies for their data, because they're not using just MLS data, they're using all county record data, which I think is very important, that people look at off record or off MLS sales as much as they use MLS sales. So you got to look at like all the data as a whole. So like I said, every few days, I'm really just trying to like hone in on like how everything's adjusted from, I'm really looking at from last year to this year to really look how the stats have adjusted and how we're faring with the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. I know when the whole SBA was coming the first time, I was all over our agents about please apply, and everyone was like, no, I'm an agent, I can't apply. And I was like, no, you can. You don't have to be an employee. And so we were lucky enough to connect with Joe Amato over at SBA, and that's a really good video for anybody who's sitting on the fence, because money is being, I think isn't there like 240 billion that's being released today.
Yep.
Right.
So it's like run, don't walk to make that
Don't
happen.
go like that again.
Right.
Yeah. But he was really good. He emailed me back. I emailed him and he emailed me back who I can contact. So,
Yeah.
and my large bank said, screw you. They basically said, we can't help you.
The banks are also overworked right now. They're not being super accommodating. So he actually, I don't know, that guy doesn't sleep, I don't think, but I emailed him and just bugged him a whole bunch of times until he finally said yes. And I was so thankful that he did. But I've had people email him and he's connecting them to a bank at that time. And that person's communicating with them like on the spot and getting back to them, which is really cool. So if somebody hasn't applied, that's a great way to go and get your stuff in there, because it's going to be a zoo, or it is a zoo already.
Yeah, I did mine this morning.
Smart.
Good.
Smart. Anybody else going anywhere to learn, to grow?
Our internal office. So what I learned from Robin the other day, we had a tech mastermind group.
Mhm.
And then, so she said to get presentations ready for listing presentations for Zoom, like make the presentation. So once you jump on your computer, it looks really good. And I've never really thought about doing that, because we've done presentations where we just did a FaceTime, but to do it like this and jump on your computer and do it, that was really smart. I really going to start working on that.
I've been doing buyer ones like that too.
Mm-hmm. Smart. One of our agents the other day said that he had gone on 11 appointments that day, listing presentation, buyer presentations. And he's like, you know what? I could never do that in a normal day, because by the time I drove from one place to the next, I couldn't get everywhere. He goes, I hit leave meeting and then I started the next meeting and I was just back to back, and he got 11 different people in, which I thought was really interesting. I think, I guess a question I have for you guys is, what have you learned through this that you're not going to go back to? What's not going to change? What are you going to continue to do in your business even once this is all over?
I think the video connection is really, really key. And it was funny because I had someone reach out to me yesterday that I had just sold their house up in Summerlin. They moved out of state and then now they want to come back, which happens a lot. And so we wanted to talk to me about, what's going on with the market and all that stuff. And I said, why don't we do a Zoom? And he just wanted to chat on the phone. He was like, "That's a great idea. I've been on Zoom so much. People are just more comfortable with it now."
Yeah.
I mean, I use other ones like Be Live, and I use the Google one as well. I honestly think the Google one is better, but I do think that again, this has changed everybody in a lot of ways. Not only has it changed people emotionally, where it kind of like touches back to how I think that people are going to really look to us as being a source and reconnect with us, as well as being people agents that know what they're doing because of everything that's changed. There's a lot of emotion that has changed because of this. And now technology has really kind of creeped its way in too. So there's the human connection, face to face but through video.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was talking to somebody, I don't know, on one of the Zoom calls, and they were saying how much easier it's going to be able to get your clients on Zoom because everyone's having, even if they're not in business, they're having family Zoom meetings, they're visiting with their grandkids, they're doing just all kinds of things that might not have happened otherwise. So I think the whole country has learned how to video connect, and I think that's definitely something we won't lose. I think we're going to get better at it.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything they're not going to go back to?
I don't know that I'm not going to go back to something. It's more like I'm adding to my business repertoire, like the videos and the Zooms. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be able to sell homes to clients from other countries with the military and stuff moving over here. We've sold them homes through FaceTime. But now the Zoom videos and the new technology that they're coming out with and the improvement in it. I mean, I know the meetings have always been there, but it's kind of like, Zoom's already, FaceTime's easy or whatever. But I think we're learning what technology works best for us. So I still think the face-to-face interaction is awesome, and we will eventually get back to that. But being able to have this new technology that we're adding to our sales ability and the way to reach out to people across the whole entire world is something that we need to really focus on and add.
So now back to the face-to-face interactions and showing homes. Are we going to be wearing masks?
For a while, yes. I mean, I think we're going to have to just understand that for a while, that is going to be our new norm.
Yeah.
It's just going to be something for the next 6 months, probably at least. We're going to be meeting people and we're going to be seeing them with that view. And it is just going to be the way it is for a while until they get a handle, because this isn't going to be the last pandemic. It's not going to be the last virus that we deal with. It's just going to be, yeah. So it's just going to be, I think that clients that I'm meeting and showing that way, they're all happy to wear the face mask. They're all happy to, wash their hands with the sanitizer and stuff like that. I mean, they're okay with it.
Yeah.
It's just our new norm.
I was floored the other day because I showed a house. It was a vacant property, and I have a box of masks, like barely any left, but I've been giving them to my clients when they come if they don't have masks. And an agent walked out of the house, no mask on, 2 clients with him. He tried to hand me the key, and I was like, nah, put it in the and I have a spray of Lysol, and he got in the car with his clients with no mask on or anything. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So, I went in the house, I sprayed everything down, I'm spraying the air, masks on. I mean, and I literally had to chuckle myself, but I was like, I can't believe this is the way it is now.
That's just being irresponsible.
And we're fortunate. We are an essential business. We have a great climate here. The governor has continued to allow us to show homes. At level of irresponsibility, I would encourage everybody to reconsider, because they could be taken away from us, even though, there's talk that we've hit the plateau. You've got to be responsible. You have to wear the mask, put the gloves on. That can be a detriment to us all. And it's just, Ashley, it's amazing that people are still conducting business that way.
Well, we have a responsibility to our industry, but even more so, we have a responsibility to our clients and our families. And it's like, you know what? I don't know if I should say, suck it up, Buttercup. This is the way it is now.
Straight talk with Sherry.
So
true, though. I mean, it's really easy. Just follow the rules. make sure everybody is protected. We
Yeah.
will get through this. We might have to do it for a little bit longer, but all it takes is a few people
So what-
behaving that way, and it's just, we could be in this for a lot longer if that continues. So take action, be responsible, protect yourself, protect your clients and others.
But I think
Yep.
your clients are going to look at you as a leader in the industry also. Oh my gosh, my agent protected me. They supplied me with masks. They supplied
Sure.
me with hand sanitizer. My agent cared about me. Oh,
Mhm.
your agent didn't do any of that?
Yeah.
Huh,
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
And went crazy with the Lysol bottle.
Yeah, I did the same thing as I had a regular repeat client last week, and I get there like 15, 20 minutes early to wipe everything down,
Yep.
open all the closet doors, open all the doors in the house. And I'm like, I should be doing this naturally, have all the lights on. I mean, I'll go early and turn on all the lights, and they think that we're just living in integrity when we're doing those type of things for them, but they don't think it's weird. And just trying to get the system in place, and not I dropped a couple things, and that's it's just because it's our new normal, right? We got to get our systems down, and then once they're down, we'll probably be finished with this, but at least we got them down, right?
Right.
It might not be. You might continue to do it to take that, who knows? That might be a practice that you continue long term. Time will tell.
Yep. And I'm finding that buyers are just more serious right now, and they are just more conscious of what they're looking at, because they're not going to put themselves at risk. And I think more than ever, just to touch on technology again, if you're not utilizing technology to showcase your properties, you're really at a loss here, because so many buyers are online right now. They're not doing anything else. Well, they're supposed to be homeschooling or working, but a lot of people, I mean, they've shown that the internet traffic has exploded on online portals in like the last few weeks. So that's where people are looking for. They want to walk through those homes. They want to see everything about that property before they risk their health to go look at the property. So it's so important more than ever to really level your game up.
So I'm gonna add on to that as well. So doing the whole video thing. So what I've been doing is I've been going to communities and just making a community video. So people to actually see, because you can see the house. If you're from out of town, you don't actually know. I'm like, all right, Summerlin's really cool. That's where I want to live. But what part of Summerlin, right? So to do community videos, and that's what I've been doing during some of my downtime.
I heard somewhere in the course of this that some people were having their sellers do a walkthrough of the house and talk about some of the things that they really enjoy about the house. So it's more person to person, talking about how they love their garden and they sit out there in the morning and it's so relaxing, and just showing the features that the sellers love about their home. That was, I thought, a unique twist. You don't hear that often.
So
And the
I must have the
neighborhood
wrong
stuff.
sellers, because mine are struggling just to do DocuSign.
Okay. So you have a lot of work to do.
That's funny, Albie.
Yeah.
That's why they need you. They need you for an agent then, right?
You can use Marco Polo is a really great app that you can use to actually get the other agent, the buyer, your seller, and yourself onto a call together. One of my friends as a broker out of California turned me on to this, and it's a really great platform to be able to get everybody together. And I mean, you try to just preface that there's no questions, too deep about the property while they're
Right,
on
don't
the
answer
phone,
that like a
but
lawyer.
at the same time,
Yeah.
it's really good because the seller's going to showcase. Yeah, why are you moving, by the way, and what's your bottom line? No, I mean, you want to obviously cut that out, but it's really good because the seller is going to give you that, tour about the house that they wouldn't normally, you wanted the sellers to skedaddle when you're trying to show a property.
Right.
But it kind of gives them an opportunity to show what they love about the house. I mean, everybody loves their home. They want to show what they like about it, right?
Yeah, nothing at all wrong with that. I want to shift for a minute and just talk about expenses. Have you guys gotten purposeful in kind of looking at what you're spending money on as this hit and to now? And have you gone through and cut expenses? And if so, where have you seen the biggest opportunity?
I actually haven't cut expenses at all. Had a few good closings during this, and I actually had put on an assistant like 2 weeks before this started, and she's a millennial, so she's doing all this, all these things that I don't know how to do, and It's leveraging a lot of the things that, like, if I don't get something done, it's still in my mind and oh my gosh, I got to do it. And she's doing all of that. I'm still doing all of the direct mail, and then like everything that I normally do, and then some. So
Does anybody cut any expenses?
I've cut some like apps that I wasn't using. We just got intentional about going through all of our spend and like what is working and what's not working, what's the return on it. There's so many stupid things that you spend money on that you don't realize. And once you have the time to kind of just sit down for a minute and get intentional and look at all the things that you're spending money on, it's like, whoa. So yeah, we've just cut back a lot of little things that we really haven't been using, but at the same time, I really haven't decreased my spending because I've shifted that into other things that I know are going to give us a bigger return.
So can I throw some random numbers I got from the MLS? I've been waiting. I'm like one of those analytical guys. All right,
Throw away.
so these are the random stuff that I've seen. And I'm like, I have some good estimates on what I think would, I don't know. Let me just tell you. So houses that closed from March 1st to today. So the median price on that has been 315. So that doesn't include, March. So March we ended at 320, which is good. So here's the really weird part. I find it completely weird. So vacant homes, the median price was 305 during that time with 15 days on market. And here's where the owners, 332 was the median price with 10 days on market. So that's crazy. And then renters, 259, 70. That's the median price. I think because those houses are a lot smaller. So maybe that's the reason why. But those were 20 days on market. And the really odd thing is I really thought all the empty houses were going to sell first and then the other ones, but they were split half and half. So I was really shocked over that. So it's actually 614 to 620 vacant and non-vacant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are stats that I thought were just crazy.
It's interesting watching, like, some things don't work out the way you think they're going to, right?
Right.
Yeah. Funny. We've got just 5 minutes left. So I just want to kind of go to each of you and ask you for your parting words of wisdom to the agents that are out there that are listening, that are maybe, they could be struggling, they could be nervous, they could be scared. What kind of wisdom do you have? And I'll start with you, Albie. What kind of words of wisdom do you have for the people out there?
Oh, I thought I was going to go last. So I think one of the biggest thing right now is to make sure that your mind is there, because, we're all going through some crazy stuff. Like for me, since I'm not living at home because my wife's an ICU nurse. So I took the kids and I moved in with my in-laws. So it's different. It's very hard, especially for her being on the front line and stuff like that. So I got to think about those things. I got to think about my kids. And then also I got to think about, do I really want to show that property as well? Because I'm the last line of defense for my kids. So I think if you have to have that first, and just to make sure that you actually reach out and talk to people, because you're going to get lonely, especially if you're living by yourself. You're a people person like I am. I think be able to reach out, and a phone call, it does help. Maybe you call somebody that you don't normally talk to, and maybe they need a voice. So
nice.
That's what I have.
Really nice.
That's great. What about you, Sherry? What parting words of wisdom do you have?
For me, it's like, I think that it's really important to get your mindset there on a daily basis. Your mindset is going to be what sets you up for today, tomorrow, and the future. And if you just throw up your hands in the air and go, oh, you know what? Nobody's selling anything. Nobody's buying anything. Oh, well, too bad. So sad. That's what you're going to end up believing. And that's where you're going to be. If your mindset is, I'm going to adjust, I'm going to make, I'm still going to make a difference. I'm still going to have clients. This is what I do for a living and I love it. That's your mindset. And you're going to go out there and you're going to work it and stuff. That's what you need to focus on. If you give up, you're done. You might as well just go get another job. You have to get your mind in the game and you have to make your mindset. And the other part of it, like Albie was saying, it's really important to be safety conscious right now, whether we've been affected by this virus or not, it's there. So be conscientious about showing property, talking to people, communicating, being out in public, whatever the case may be. But I would say first and foremost, a positive mindset.
Yep.
Yeah, super, super important. I think that's the game really in life, but even more so now. So well said, Sherry. Michelle, what words of wisdom do you have for our listeners out there?
I would say to stay connected with the people that you work with, and don't quit. Don't quit. Get out there, go do something physical to change your mindset, like everybody else is talking about mindset. And really, this is a good time to hone in on your SOI and just reach out to past clients, any people that you came in contact with on open houses, anybody that you've had contact with the last year, and just see if they need anything.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because they're all at home and they're all answering their phone. So what a great time to be able to be communicating, right?
Timeless piece of technology works again, right?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I've learned out of this whole thing is we should pay our teachers more. Because
And our
I
housekeepers.
have a 6-year-old in kindergarten and a preschooler, and we're at 4.5 hours a day of work.
Wow.
And we're printing a lot of paper.
Yeah, it's different. I think we'll appreciate people different coming out of this. Ashley, what parting words of wisdom do you have for us?
So I would definitely say that, this is obviously unprecedented territory for us, but I think, when it first happened, a lot of people kind of fell off the wagon and got into that like hover mode and, didn't know what to do. I say more than ever, get intentional with your day and stick to a schedule, and what are things that are going to be business producing activities for you, and what can you do on a daily basis that is the same schedule that you've always adhered to. It's very hard working from home, especially with kids here. It's very easy to get off of that pattern. So, time block your day, do the Pomodoro effect, and, get those things done that are going to be something that you're going to reap the benefits of in 90 days from now. And that's going to keep you in the business.
If you do that, how you come out on the tail end of this is going to be significantly different than those people who've chosen not to.
Yep.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah. I think Patty and I want to thank you guys. You were great. It was a fun
Thank you so
panel,
much.
and I love the mindset and the determination of everybody here. It's been, it's what's going to put us through and move us forward, right?
Yes.
So thank you, and stay in touch.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.